This week we're going to be working with some vocabulary words in math that we want to review before you start your math. One of the first vocabulary words you're going to see is the word sum. Now the sum, S-U-M, is the answer to an addition problem. We've used this word since probably first grade. The next words you're going to see should be familiar to you now. It's the word's numerator, which is the part of the whole we're referring to, and that has the letter U in it to remind us that that is the one that goes up on top of a fraction. The next vocabulary word is the word denominator, with a D for down. It means it's the bottom number in the fraction, and it tells us the total number of parts that were in the whole to begin with. So for example, if you have a pizza that has 8 slices, your denominator would be 8. Your numerator would tell how many parts of the whole that you ate, maybe 2 slices that you ate out of the 8 slices that were in the whole. Or it could even talk about the number of slices of pizza that were left in the box after you had your 2 slices. So there were 6 slices left out of 8 slices in the whole pizza. So your fraction would be 6/8. The next word we're going to be dealing with this week, and you're going to see this word a lot, is the word unit. Unit. That means one. If you think of the letters U-N-I, and you think of other words that have unit in it, like a unicorn has 1 horn, or a unicycle has 1 wheel, uni means 1. So the word unit refers to the number 1, or having one thing. And that comes back to our next vocabulary word, a unit fraction. A unit fraction is a fraction that has a numerator of 1, which means the top number is going to be 1 in each one of these fractions. So you might have 1/5, 1/8, or sometimes we use a variable to represent the denominator, because the denominator could be any number, but the numerator in a unit fraction has to be 1. And then the next vocabulary word you're going to see this week is decompose. To decompose a fraction is to take it apart. And that's what we're going to do today. So on your IXL and your practice buddy, you're going to see how to decompose fractions into unit fractions. And they're going to show you that using models. So they're going to show you this bar up at top. And this is just showing you how big the whole is to start with. So if I were to model this with my fraction tiles, I could show you that 1 whole is the same as having 4 out of 4/4. All 4 parts have to be there to make it a whole. But today, we're going to work with the fraction 3/4, because this shows you 1/4 plus 1/4 plus 1/4 is 3/4. I'm going to decompose this fraction 3/4 into unit fractions. So I have the unit fractions right here. Each one of these fractions is a unit fraction. So I'm going to look at this as the parts of this fraction. So 3/4 is made up of 1/4 plus 1/4 plus 1/4. And you notice when you add these together, 1/4 plus 1/4 plus 1/4, it equals 3/4. So the numerators get added together, but because this is still broken into 4 equal parts, the denominator stays the same. It's going to remain a 4. I want to show you this with another model. We'll do it with 3/8. So again, if I were to make a whole using my 1/8 tiles, I would have 8/8 lined up. However, I don't have all 8s. I only have a part of that fraction. A part of that whole. I have 3 out of 8 pieces. So if I was going to break up 3/8 into unit fractions, remember, each one has to have a numerator of 1. So I would have 1/8 plus 1/8 plus 1/8. I'm going to do one last model, and I'm going to do it with something other than the numerator of 3, because I feel as if we've done 3 quite a bit. So we're going to do, working with sixths, I'm going to have close to a hole without having a hole. Now, close to a hole, look at this, it fills up almost the entire bar. If I had 6 parts, I'd have 1 hole, 6/6. However, today we'll work with 5/6. So, and I know I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I count my units, my numerator, the ones. So I have 5/6. And I'm going to make this an addition problem because I want to decompose these fractions into unit fractions. So I'm going to make this 5/6. I'm going to break it down by the unit fractions. So I have 1/6 plus 1/6 plus 1/6 plus 1/6 plus 1/6. Now I have to check, of course, especially now this is a lot more than just 3. So I can check by counting my units, my numerators, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I add my ones. 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1 is equal to 5. And again, this is still broken only into 6 parts, so my denominator is going to stay the same. Now you try it.